season. So we got a lot of bucks moving around on the cameras finally. Some shooter ones. So hope for better luck than part one of this video. Part one was so far this season's been the worst season we had yet. I ever had. So let's try to change that around in part two of this season. I think we got some noise coming from the cornfield. Alright, we just had a shooter doe walk along the four-wheeler trail, but I couldn't get my bow up fast enough, and she kept looking right down into the field where I'm between the field and the woods, the four-wheeler trail. So she kept looking this way right at me, so I couldn't really do much. So she got away, but she walked right along the four-wheeler trail. Just couldn't get ready to take the shot. We got sound coming from the cornfield. A couple coyotes. Another coyote. That makes like 2 to 3 coyotes I just seen. They're hunting for some rabbits, but that might do it for tonight. Coyotes ain't good for deer hunting, they scare them away. Alright, so yeah, that's probably what I heard in the cornfields just a little bit ago, was them coyotes running around. Alright. They're trying to get something. They're on the hunt. Alright, as you can see, it's getting pretty dark, so them coyotes probably ended our hunt anyway, so. Alright, till next time. Big, huge rainstorm coming tomorrow all day long, going into night. So a lot of rain's coming. Gonna start making all them lakes and rivers come up too. Alright, well, like I said, this is it. See y'all later. Alright, so we are out in the morning in the food plot watering hole area. Alright, let's see what happens. Alright, so it's past 7 o'clock and it's still pretty dark. We just had something on the four-wheeler trail. We couldn't tell what it was because of how dark it was. So, yeah, I don't know why, but it's still kind of dark out here. As you can see, cloudy weathers are really keeping it dark. Small little four-pointer right over there. Alright, we are out. One small little four-pointer. It's starting to rain, so probably this afternoon, unless it's thunderstorming or something like that. So, alright, so we're back out in the afternoon, seeing what happens. I think I just heard a buck run. There's a big buck, and a doe, big buck and a doe. Alright, so that doe ran that way, and the buck went with her. That was a big shooter buck. It even grunted at her. I couldn't see which deer it was, which buck it was, but it was definitely a shooter buck. Alright, update time. Right up there. Something right below the top of the hill went crunch, and some does on top of the hill started hissing at it, ran off that way. I don't know what's going on here. scared more does up. I heard hissing behind me on the other side of the hill. And then here came this little doe. Yeah, that little doe's the one that's hissing. Or is one of the ones that is hissing. She just ran down that way. Jogging. I think she was with her mom. And that buck came and separated them. I think that's what happened. Way back in there was just a 4-pointer. He came from up the hill running downwards. I have no clue what is going on in these woods right now. So we just had a deer walk through the bean field where we are here. It is a morning hunt. Let's see what happens. The rut is on. Alright, we just had something run down the hill from the very top of the hill. But it's still very, very dark. As you can see, you can't see really anything. Alright, just had a shooter buck come right here, pulled my bow back, and all of a sudden it started making like really small, squeaky noises, and he ran away. Like this season is horrible. I just did a full draw with my bow. It didn't make that squeaking noise. It's like it got really cold or something. It's only 25 degrees. I don't know. Tough luck again. If she gives me a shot, I'm gonna take it. Alright, so that doe went back in that ravine. So that big 8-pointer, I think that was one of my shooter bucks called Mr. Doll 8. He was bigger in person than on the pictures. I'll bring up a picture of him. He's a big 8-pointer. I'm so frustrated. I just want to quit hunting right now for the season. The season's just not been going right. Alright, so that big 8-pointer, I think he was my shooter buck called Mr. Doll 8. Big 8-pointer. If I would be able to get him, he's probably my biggest 8-pointer I ever got. Big 8-pointer. So I'm very frustrated, very done with this season. I just want to quit. But the rut just started, and there's like a week or two of the rut. So I gotta stick in there and keep finding ways to get out here. It could happen. But I am very, very done with all this, how this season's been. Alright, so we are out in the afternoon. The food plot and watering hole. So let's see what happens here. Alright, we just had I don't know how big of a buck, but he looked like he was right on the edge of being a shooter. He came from, there was a doe that came almost sprinting all the way down, turned, went that way, went over the lump, and then a buck came down, following her trail, and it went over. One of my shooter bucks were just right there. One of my shooter bucks. He just poked his head up and walked away. He's on the other side of that lump. Alright, so as you can see, we're out of the woods. We had that shooter 10-pointer and that doe. That was all that came through. So, alright, probably tomorrow morning or till next time. See y'all later.